Hello you guys, welcome back to another video of building my Minecraft realistic roleplay swim barn with me. So we're back the next morning. I'm so tired. But it's okay, we're gonna get right to it. I already took care of the horses. I made some upgrades yesterday, so they have a refillable water troughs, and I obviously did some more decorating. So we did most of that last night while I was waiting for the other video to upload. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and start getting this barn going. So I already got like one stall done, but obviously we have like tons of others we need to do. So we're just going to get straight into the actual like fun building part, because I already had to put you guys through all of the rebuilding part yesterday, so we're just gonna get straight to the fun part. So we're gonna be putting all the walls in, is what we're gonna be doing mostly today. So, oops, I did that one too high. Okay. So, I hope everybody's evening was good, and I hope your guys' weekend has been going good. It was better than mine, because my weekend has honestly not been that great. And it's not even, like, you know, it's not even really because I was working all weekend. It was just, I don't know. It's kind of been a rough week for me. The last couple days have been kind of rough, so, today's kind of actually kind of my mental health day, because I'm not doing great that way right now, really. So, I mean, like, it's nothing like, you know, really bad, but it's just not. It's not great, but we're gonna work on it. All right, we're gonna finish this wall, and then we'll go sleep, because it's always really annoying to work at night, at least in my opinion. Like, obviously you can do it, but because this place isn't lit up, it's kind of rough. That is probably something I'll also work on in this video, is kind of lighting this place up a little bit more. And not just like the barn, because obviously like inside the barn is lit up with the fairy lights, but just like the other part of the barn, around the property needs to be lit up a little bit. Not a little bit. It needs to be lit up. The area around the property needs to be lit up. So we're gonna do that today, probably. Hopefully. Alright, let's go and get this side done. But we're just gonna work on getting the walls up today. And we'll go from there. But I hope your guys' weekend was better than mine. And I hope for those of you who are in school are doing okay. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday to check up on him, and he was like, I'm freaking out, I'm only like, you know, a couple weeks into the semester, and I'm already like falling way behind, and I'm stressing, and and so I had to comfort him, be like, it's okay, like, you'll catch up. And I shared with him one of my my study tricks that I do. So hopefully that helps him. I don't know if it will, but hopefully that trick helps him, because I know it helps me. And if you guys want to learn that trick, you can go ahead and ask me in the comments, and I will more than happily give it to you. Because I am now 3 years into college, and I even used this trick in high school too, so I have pretty good logical evidence that it can work and that it helps. At least for me. I know everybody's different, and everybody's like, what helps them study is different. So it might not help you, but it's really helped me. So if you guys want to know what that trick is, let me know, and I will be more than happy to let you know. But But yeah, I was just trying to, I gave him that yesterday, and I was like, and I also told him, I was like, dude, cut yourself some slack. Like, you're in my opinion, probably one of the hardest majors you could possibly be in. He's trying to get his biomedical degree, and that, at least to me, is a really, really hard field. I think, it's a really, really hard field for a lot of people. And so I'm like, dude, cut yourself some slack. Like, biomedical degree? That's insane. I kind of think he's kind of crazy for going for that. I mean, good for him, like, all power to him, but oh my gosh. Biomedical, I could never. Like, I could do it. Like, there's, like, I don't know. I would like to say that I'm one of those people that could go in any field I want to, and I could succeed at it. But, for me, it's just a question of whether I would enjoy that field, and whether that field would be worth it. And whether I would enjoy it. And biomedical degree is not something I don't think I would enjoy very much, so it's not something I will be doing personally. But that's what I told him. I was like, dude, just cut yourself some slack. It's okay. Like, you are in a really hard field, like, it's okay. It's okay to struggle, and this is his first year of college, like, so I'm like, dude, it's okay. You're okay. Like, cut yourself a little bit of slack. You're in a hard field, and you're just getting back into school. You're okay. Like, it's not that deep. So, anyway. But, for those of you in school, same thing. Cut yourself some slack. It's okay. Like, even if you guys aren't, like, getting a biomedical degree, like, it's okay. Cut yourself some slack. School's rough. I still struggle. I was looking at my homework for this week. And, like, one of my classes, there's, like, basically nothing. But for my other class, there's a ton, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. So, it's okay. Just cut yourself some slack. And take it a couple, just take it a chunk at a time. Like, just try not to look at it as a whole, because I've learned that just really makes you overwhelmed if you look at it at, like, a whole. It's like, oh, I have to do this and this and this and this and this and this for, like, all my classes. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're overwhelmed. Like, just, look at it per class, or, like, per assignment, or, like, yeah, just don't look at it, just don't, no matter what you do, just don't look at it as a whole, because that'll just stress you out even more. And that is not, it will not help. So just don't do that. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that. Just don't look at it as a whole, because it will just make you want to cry, and then it will make you want to procrastinate, because you have a lot, and so then you don't want to do it. So, just don't look at it as a whole, and it'll make you feel a little bit better. And it'll make it seem more manageable. Manageable. I can't even tell if I'm saying that word right. I hope I am. I honestly can't even tell. But it'll help make it look more achievable. 'Cause, like, isn't that, like, one of the, like, main things with goals? It's like, I learned this back in high school. It's like, make it achievable, manageable, like, time efficient, something like that. I'll have to, like, look that up again, because, yeah. But don't overwhelm yourself. It's okay. And again, cut yourself some slack. School sucks. Like, it can really suck. And that's me saying that. And I love learning. I love school. Like, I literally, like, I do really like to learn, and I do really, really like school. But that doesn't mean that, I will still look at school stuff and be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so excited that I have, 15 assignments. Like, no. I'm still human. Even if I like school and I like to learn, I'm still human. So, cut yourself some slack. It's okay. If you feel a little overwhelmed, it's okay. We all do. It's totally chill. Oops, wrong blocks. It's cool. So, take it easy. And even if you're not in school, and, like, you're, like, working, or, like, you're just working, or, like, for goodness sake, I might even have some... Okay, that confused me, sir. I might even have some parents on this channel, and, like, honestly, same thing applies. And I know that because I have all other siblings. I can't speak English. I have all older siblings, and all of them except for one and me have kids. So I have been around kids a lot. So I understand, like, you know, it's the same thing with parenthood. Like, cut your parents, cut yourself some slack. It's okay. You know? Like, I know you guys, like, you want to protect your kids and you want to do all that. And that's perfectly understandable. But for gosh sake, guys, cut yourself some slack. It's okay. It's okay. Like, it's, if your kid has to learn the hard way about something, it's okay. They'll figure it out. Just, try and be there for them as best you can. And, hope they'll turn out okay. That's what my parents, well, okay. To be fair, my parents weren't really, they didn't, a lot of the stuff I got myself into, they didn't know. But, like, I figured it out. And, I think I turned out okay. I'm not a teenager anymore. That's, like, the only hint I'll give to my age. And I turned out okay. I did some stupid stuff, and I turned out okay. I learned. So just, it's okay. Cut yourself some slack. And honestly, parents, try not to, control, like, if your kid wants to go out to a party, unless you feel extraordinarily strongly that they shouldn't, let them go, If they get into something, then, let them learn. It's better to do that than to shell them the rest of their lives, so then when they get into those scenarios later in life, that there'll be worse consequences. Let them figure it out. And I'm not trying to tell you, if I do have parents on this channel, I'm not trying to tell you how to parent. You do what is best for your kid. Obviously there's always going to be special circumstances. But, let them learn. And another thing, too, is, hang on, okay. Is let them, like, in their younger years, like, let them figure out how to do stuff. And I mean that as a, like, if they go to a doctor's appointment, like, when they're younger, like, teach them how to, talk to the doctors, and teach them how to make phone calls to, banks and doctor's offices and food places, and let them learn to order their own food and do all that. Like, I don't think a lot of parents realize, like, how much that can help your kid later in life, because my parents did a lot of that while I was a kid, and it has set me up so well, especially because I'm going through a lot of medical stuff right now. And, like, again, I'm an adult. Like, my parents can't be there all the time to talk to the doctors. But I know how to do that because my parents gave me the opportunities to. So it's like, let them learn their social security number. Let them learn your guys' health insurance. Let them learn, teach them finances, teach them taxes, teach them how to manage money. It will serve them so well and later in life. So that's also my advice, because, there's so many people, adults that'll come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, like, you're so mature, and I can't believe you understand that stuff at your age. And it's because my parents and my siblings gave me the opportunity to do so as a kid. So that's just kind of my advice, is just, if there's parents watching this, or, like, you're going to become a parent or whatever, put your kids in these situations. It will really serve them really well as an adult. Or at least just later in life, even if they are already an adult, teach them. Because that is stuff they're going to need to know as they get older. Especially in a world like this. Like, obviously still be there for your kids. Like, they're still going to, you guys are their parents. Like, still be there for them when they need it. But, still teach them to be self-reliant. At least in that way. Like, don't abandon them. but, you know, still be there, but give them those opportunities, you know, and teach them how to communicate and do that as an adult and as a younger child, because it will really, really help them later. You know, like, I remember when I was younger, you know, I was probably like from like 6 to 10, 6 to 12 maybe, and I was always like, oh, I wish I had younger siblings, you know, because I'm the youngest, and the next oldest is 15 years older than me, so he's like 35, I think. And, you know, and I always wished for younger siblings, you know. But as I've gotten older, like, I've really, really learned to appreciate having siblings that are way older than me, because they've taught me so much. You know, especially, like, my brothers. Like, my sisters have taught me a lot, too, but, like, my brothers, honestly, especially. You know, like, I know how to change my own oil in a car. I know how to be able to take my car in and get an oil change and understand, like, oh, your car's filter needs to be, replaced. Or, you know, I know how to check my oil. I know how to change it. I know how to change a tire. You know, I know how to do all that. And, like, I know mechanics. You know, I know auto mechanics. You know, and, like, especially if you're raising a girl, have your sons or teach them auto mechanics. Like, it is such an important thing. It really is, even if you're a girl. You know, like, I know so many people complain of, like, oh, females are really dumb when it comes to cars. And it's like, well, yeah, because nobody teaches them. You know, and, like, thankfully my brothers taught me how to do that. Like, for instance, we had a car a couple years ago, and it was the main car that I had learned to drive in, and it was making a lot of noises, and the check engine light kept coming on. And so I, you know, because of my brothers, was knowledgeable enough to check, you know, the oil. Nothing was wrong there. And so I checked the coolant. Come to find out, the coolant was stupidly low. And anyway, the coolant kept getting low, but I knew how to, you know, I knew to check it every trip that I took in that car. And I knew to fill it up. And I knew how to fill it up. And I knew that something was wrong. And so, like, just, you know, teach your daughters that. You can still be feminine while learning how to, you know, learning some basics of mechanics and learning, you know, how to use a drill and a socket set and a wrench and, you know, being able to put stuff together. It really is actually important. And, like, if your parents didn't teach you that stuff, my advice, go learn how to do it yourself. You know, like, go learn how to do it. Go watch videos on the basics of mechanics. You know, go watch a video on how to, like, the basics on how to buy a car. You know? Because, like, when I bought my first car this year, and I automatically already knew how because I had watched my parents do it, and because I had been around when my siblings did it, and they, you know, they would teach me and be like, okay, so this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it, you know, so, like, you know, if your parents didn't teach you, go teach yourself, you know, it's, you know, go teach them about mortgages, and go teach them about loans, and go teach them how to buy a car, like, it's honestly a lot more important than I think a lot of people take credit for. Especially because, in my opinion, and I think this is a lot of people's opinion as well, is, you know, everybody tells you, oh, like, you know, high school is supposed to prepare you for life and for college. No, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. High school just does jack diddly squat for that. Like, I think middle school, like, at least in my middle school, they taught me more about that stuff than high school ever did. Like, my middle school at least taught me how to fill out a check. High school never did that for me. So, like, high school isn't going to teach you jack diddly nothing. Like, they'll teach you a little bit about finances and stuff, but, like, they're really not going to teach you the nitty-gritty stuff. So, like, honestly, just go learn it yourself. Learn how to budget, you know, learn how loans work, learn percentages, just go figure it out by yourself. You're going to learn more that way than you will in school. Unless, like, you're going into college for a finance major. they're not going to teach you anything. They're really not. And yeah, high school doesn't teach you jack diddly squat when it comes to being prepared for later in life. It really doesn't. Because that's what everybody tells you. Oh, high school's going to set you up for the rest of your life. No. Not in that sense. Like, you know, academically, to be able to get into good colleges, yeah. Like, as long as, like, you keep your grades up and your ACT scores or SAT scores or whatever. Sure. Yeah, those help. But they don't help you for whatever, for, like, the other stuff in life. They don't teach you, like, the steps to buy a car. They don't teach you, you know, the basics of auto mechanics, unless you're going into that field or you've taken a class in high school. Which, if you guys are still in high school, I would suggest going and taking an auto mechanics class, even if you're a girl. I don't give a crap. Go take the class. Because if there's any females watching, I really suggest it, because I always get sick of guys being like, oh, girls don't know anything about cars and da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, come on, guys, let's go prove them wrong. Go take an auto mechanics class. If you're in high school, or even, like, if you're in college, go take an auto mechanics class. I don't care if you're the only girl in the class. Who gives a crap? You're there to learn, not about what other people think of you. And I know that's easier said than done. I get it. But, like, it is an important skill to have. Anyway, I'll shut up and I'll stop rambling on about life. Because life is already stressful enough as it is. But those are just kind of my pep talk and my life advice, at least for girls. Like, just go learn. Go learn how to use a drill. Go learn how to use a socket set. Go learn the basics of auto mechanics. And, like, even computer mechanics too. Like, I took a programming class in high school for 2 years. So, you know, is it obviously the field that I'm into in college? No. And that's because I don't have the patience for it to do as a career. But it was still, like, a good thing to learn, because it really does teach you, like, it honestly gives you a lot more appreciation for, like, games and just, like, the way computers work in general. Because a lot of people complain about, like Star Stable, for instance. Like, they're complaining about, like, oh my gosh, like, stuff is, like, you know, it's glitchy, and, you know, it doesn't work as well, and blah, 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 blah. But, like, you know, if you go look at coding, and you go look at programming, like, it honestly makes you appreciate it more, and honestly, it's made me cut Star Stable a lot more slack, because I used to be the same way. I used to be like, oh my gosh, like, this needs to be better, and this needs to be better, and, like, they're just really not doing it. But, like, now that I know, like, how coding works and programming works, as a game, they're doing really good. They're doing really, really good. So, like, I would look into it, but honestly, more importantly, again, is the auto mechanics. Go figure that out, and again, just go watch a video, or, like, ask your parents, or, you know, if you trust them, or just go figure out, like, loans, and how to buy a car, and just mortgages, and all that. Like, even if you think if you're too young, you're not. Like, honestly, I think if you're, like, 15, you're more than able to learn about that stuff. Like, I think, like, 15 or 16 is, like, a good age to start being able to do that, because that's when you're going to start to work and do all that, and it's just, yeah. I learned it a lot younger, just, again, because my siblings were a lot older. But, again, I think, like, 15, 16, you know, so what is that? Junior in high school? So, like, yeah, when you're a junior in high school, I think that's when you should start learning that stuff, in my opinion. And it'll really, really set you up for life later. And it'll help you not be, like, I'm not saying being socially awkward is, like, a terrible thing. But, like, you know, if you want to, if you're anxious about being socially awkward, again, go learn that stuff. Because that'll really just help you to be more confident and fit in, because you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. So, anyway, I will officially stop now. I'm sorry. I rambled on for, like, 20 minutes about that, but Anyway, but yeah, okay, so what we're doing right now is we are filling in the tack room floor. We got the barn floor done, so we're just finishing up the tack room floor right now. And then, I'm not going to do most of the roof probably on camera because that part's honestly just really annoyingly boring. So, I won't do that part on camera, but, we'll work on some other stuff on camera. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I am going to go ahead and fix this. This part. This part of the roof right here. I got the wrong steps. Those are supposed to be wooden steps. I am honestly still kind of like iffy on the roof design because obviously it's stone right here. But because there's a stone thing there, did I do stone on this side too? I don't even remember. I did, but I didn't have the stone there, and it looks so much better. Okay, so then, in that case, what we're going to do is we're going to make it match on this side. Because it looks so much better that way. Okay, let's go ahead and grab these. Alright, let's go ahead and fix this. Alright. Okay, I think that fixing this will make it look at least somewhat better. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. Alright, we'll go ahead and, of course I put all of this stuff away that I needed. I hate it when I do that. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright, there we go. That should make it, yeah, that looks much better. Okay, I'm happy with that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. We're gonna put this and this away. I honestly don't know what to do next. I could put in the flooring, probably, is probably what I should do next. For the stalls. Yeah, we'll work on that next. Okay, so we're gonna grab rubber matting. We're gonna grab the bars and the gates. And we're just gonna do this one stall at a time. I can't speak English. I'm tongue-tied. Okay, we'll go ahead and fill this in. This is our little tack up wash stall thing. Alright. Let's go ahead and do this thing. So yeah, most of the roof I won't do on camera because honestly the roof takes forever and it's boring, so I won't do most of it. So I'll probably, oops, shoot, I hate when I do that. Ah! Okay, we'll fix that later, it's fine. So yeah, I won't do most of the roof on camera, but, yeah, we'll figure it out. My brain's malfunctioning. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is the dark rubber matting, is what I'm using here. So, yeah, I will say that, like, building the barn, to me, isn't what's hard. Like, I'm perfectly okay building barns, like, I'm quite good at it, I think. For me, the hard part is, like, the decorating and stuff, and, like, making it look, more aesthetically pleasing. That's the part that I'll struggle with, because, like, I'm just not really a decorator kind of girl, you know? It's just not. Hang on, I think it's 3. Is 3 up? Yeah, it is, okay. It's just, yeah, it's not really my forte, so it'll definitely be this part, that part, oops. That part will be more of a challenge, but that's okay. Alright, there we go. Stall number 1 done. Now we just have to do this like 20 more times. But yeah, that's the part that I'll struggle with the most, I think. Because it's like building, that I can do. That's fine. That's fine. I can do that. But decorating and making it look like aesthetically pleasing, and not just like to me, but like for other people too. That's where I'm gonna struggle the most. So obviously I've already tried to do some, but that's the part I'm gonna struggle with the most. So I'll have to really figure that out. So I'll have to kind of look at other builds and, you know, see. And honestly, that's why I procrastinated the tack room in the other one, because I don't want it to just be a tack and feed room. Like, I want it to look, you know, obviously like a tack and feed room, but like I want it to look, you know, I want it to be aesthetically pleasing and not just function. Whoops. And normally I wouldn't care, because again, I'm not really a decorator girly, but this is a barn because it's a realistic roleplay where I want it to look. Oops. I undid the wrong block there. But this is a barn where I want it to look. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. More aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so is there one there? Yeah, there is. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's supposed to be these two. Yeah. Yeah, okay, there we go. So this is definitely going to be more of a challenge for me. Because it's like building, like this part, the building part, again, I can do that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But it's going to be the, making it look aesthetically pleasing. That's going to be a challenge for me, personally. Okay, there we go. Alright, oops. Why did I put the gates back? I'm just gonna... Okay, it's fine. It's cool. I didn't say it. Alright. I'm trying to keep an eye on time as well. That's the one annoying thing about creative, that like it's, you know, in like instances like this, it's really nice that, you know, you can get rid of blocks like right away. But also, like, if you hit the wrong block, it's like, oh my gosh. So, it's okay. As long as you have the correct blocks to be able to put it back, you're good. And it's creative, so you have an infinite amount of supplies. And this is definitely going to be a project, because obviously, like, we have the barns, but we also need to do round pens, and pasture, and an outdoor and indoor arena. And I'm gonna have to probably find some more, like, oh gosh, like mod packs for, like, jumps and stuff. And, you know, it's gonna be a project, for sure. So, the barns are just, like, the first part. And, like, I do have, like, you know, a pasture up and going. Or, well, 2, technically. But I at least have the pastures up and 2 of the pastures up and going, but like, obviously I'm gonna want more, and I need to put in some round pens, and it's going to be a project, to put it mildly. So, you know, and I need to build a house, and you know, it's gonna be a project. It's gonna be a project. So, hopefully you guys are good to stick around for a while with these videos. You know, and like, if they're really not doing that well, I will probably, I'll probably stop them if, like, you guys really don't like them. And I'll probably just do most of this off camera, and then, like, when it's done, I'll, like, show you the finished product. But I'm probably gonna do 3 or 4 of these and see how they do. And again, if they just don't do well, then I'll stop, and I'll just probably continue with the Rival Stars series, which, if you guys are wondering, I did start a new one, and the old one we didn't finish because there was a problem with one of the cross-country races. I did contact Pickpock about it. They did get back to me, so I hope that problem has been fixed, but I have not been back on Rival Stars, so I don't know if they fixed it. So hopefully this week I can hopefully get back on, and we can hope they fix that. And if they did, we will hopefully get back on that series again. Things have just been so crazy between work and school, starting back up, and then obviously I'm going through some health stuff right now, and my parents are as well, so it's just, oh my god, it's raining again. Can I just say, I really don't like rain in this game. I'm just not a big fan of it. But it's okay, it's fine. But that's kind of what I'm thinking, and then hopefully, I'll be getting another Star Stable training timeout soon as well. I'll probably I'm hoping to do at least one more Star Stable training time before the Equestrian Festival comes out in, like, I think it's April, I think, when it comes out. I don't know, something like that. So, I will hopefully do, like, one more training time before the Equestrian Festival comes out. Alright, we'll finish this stall, and then we'll go to bed to get rid of this stupid lightning storm. Okay. Because I can barely freaking see. Alright, there we go. Woo! Alright. Bed. Alright. And honestly, I might record 2 episodes of this today. I don't know. We'll see. Probably what I'll do is record this episode, probably get most of the roof done, and then come back on and record again. But we'll see how I'm feeling, because again, I'm not feeling that great today, so we'll see. I will say, playing Minecraft and, like, being able to record and do stuff and talk is actually, it's honestly helping, so I am actually feeling better right now. We'll see how I'm feeling after this episode. Because usually when I get on Minecraft, it's not like for like an hour or 2. It's usually for like 4 to 5 hours at a time. So I'll be on for quite a while, I think. So I'll probably record 2 episodes today, but this will be the first one, and then I'll probably work on the roof for a while, and then I'll probably come back on and record again. I think it's looking pretty good so far. 2, 3, 1, 2. You know, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just going crazy, but I think it looks okay so far. You know, obviously it's far from done, but I mean, even the other barn is far from done. Like, I still have a tack room to do, and you know, yeah. There's still a lot to get done, but it's 2, 3, 1, 2. You know, it's coming together. At least I think it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm just delusional. I think it's coming together quite nicely. But yeah, honestly, the barn part to me is easy. The barn part to me is honestly really simple to me, so oops. I'm not that, yeah, the barn part's easy to me. I've built so many barns, both in Swim and just, like, normal Minecraft. I've also built a couple in the, because this is Java edition, but on the Bedrock edition, you can buy a mod pack that's like an upgraded horses mod pack that you can buy, and I obviously bought that mod pack. So I've built barns for that too, because it's a little bit different, because like there's actual breeds in that game, in that mod pack, and they're a little bit bigger, and so they can get over like the normal fences and gates, and so there's like special stalls and stuff to make. And anyway, so you know, I have that mod pack on my phone. I don't play Bedrock on my computer, so I only play Bedrock on my phone, and I play Java on my laptop. Which, oh, by the way, because I worked my butt off this week, I should be able, at the end of this week, I should be able to buy my laptop. My dad graciously has, has offered to pay for half of it, or like probably like half of it, and so I have more than enough money for my half now. I'm gonna probably work this week, a full week this week before I buy the laptop, because I want to be able to, have a little bit of extra money left over. But I should be able to buy the laptop I want by the end of the week. So hopefully that will happen, and I should be on my new gaming laptop here soon. And obviously it won't just be for gaming, like obviously I have it for school and stuff like that too, but it'll be it'll be really nice to have my own laptop, because the one I'm using is my dad's, and obviously like it gets the job done, but it's not great. And it only has like one USB port, and so I can't I can't connect a microphone and a mouse. So, and like obviously I would rather have a mouse for playing Minecraft than a microphone. So I only have the mouse, but if I get this gaming laptop, obviously it's gonna have more than one port, so I'll actually be able to buy a microphone, so my audio should be a lot better. But yeah, hopefully by the end of the week I will have a new laptop. Hope and pray. So that I think would be exciting, and then I'll have to buy a microphone too. But it's just another step to me being independent, because I still live at home with my parents currently. Because obviously, like, rent in this economy, and specifically in the state I live in, is stupidly high. And with the job I'm working right now, it's, like, if I lived out in the area that I work, I would be able to make it, but because I don't, I just don't have enough to be able to do that right now. And so I'm trying to get as independent as possible. So, I'm trying to buy a laptop, and, I got a desk, and, I'm trying to just, there's just little steps that I'm trying to take to slowly be able to pull away from my parents, so that when the time comes and I do have enough money, I can move out, and I don't have to, still rely on them for a lot of things, so. And getting a laptop is one of those steps. The biggest step for me that way was getting a car. So I bought a car, and, that was really, really helpful. So that was a huge step for me to be able to pull away from my parents, because before I was using their cars, and so I, wasn't able to work as often, because obviously we had 2 cars at the time. And obviously my dad needed one for his work, and then my mom would need the other one once in a while to, run groceries or go to doctor's appointments, but that was also the car I used for work, mostly. And so, I wasn't able to work as much. But now that I have my own car, I can just leave when I need to, and, I don't have to ask for permission, I can just go. Because it's my car that I bought that I'm paying off. You know, and my dad, because I do respect him because he's helped me a lot, does have some say because he did help me pay part of the car off. So he also does get some say, but, you know, he also just respects me enough not to push it. So, like, you know, if we want to go somewhere, you know, because my car is older and it's a little bit more crappy, if he doesn't want to take his car, you know, he will still ask me, hey, can we take your car instead of mine? You know, and if he does that, he'll pay for gas, which he pays for most of my gas anyway, because he is trying to, again, he's trying to help me, get ahead, and he's really big on saving money, which is completely understandable, especially in this economy. It's really good to have a saving, like a lot of savings. So he's just trying to help me pay for, you know, a lot of other stuff, so that I don't have to pay for it. Like, he's paying for my school right now, which isn't honestly that much. Like, it's only like $500 a month. Like, I think it's only like $500 a term, so it's like $1,000 a semester, because I only take 3 classes usually. And, you know, if you guys are like, oh my gosh, like, you can't talk about school, it's stressful because you're only taking 3 classes. Okay, valid. Also, the program that I am doing is a program where I can get my bachelor's degree in 3 years instead of 4. But because of that, I am learning at an accelerated pace. So, you know, obviously there's, you know, 14 weeks in a semester, and there's 7 weeks in a term. Here's the thing. I am learning a semester's worth of work in a term. So they have smushed 17 weeks of content and assignments into 7 weeks. So I am doing double the workload in that sense. So, yeah, I'm only taking 3 classes, but, you know, again, I'm doing double the workload because I'm doing 14 weeks worth of content into 7. So it is actually quite a bit of work, and it is still a lot, and it depends on the class, to be fair. Like, some classes are a lot easier than others. Like, I'm taking emergency management, that's the class. I'm taking an emergency management class right now, and that class so far actually hasn't been too bad, which honestly shocked me. I thought that class was going to be a lot worse. But that class hasn't been too bad. But my math class that I'm taking is crazy and horrible, and it's working me really, really hard, actually, which is fine, honestly. 1, 2, 3, because I actually really like math. I know a lot of people hate math. I actually really like math. I am a huge math person, so it's not too bad. I will say that this particular math class is not really one I'm enjoying, because it's like, the specific class name is Math for the Real World, and so it's, I don't know, it's just not my cup of tea, because, like, you know, I like math and I like working with numbers, where this is using, like, logic, you know, and so it's, you know, well, if this person does this, you know, or is it more emotionally driven, or is it more, you know, logically driven? You know, it's basically those type of questions, and it's not really my forte. You know, like, I can be logical and stuff about, like, decisions in life and stuff like that, but, like, it's just not. When it comes to, like, specifically in the math world, that is not my forte. I know a lot of people in the math world enjoy that type of math more because they think it's easier. I do not. I would rather work with numbers. I think numbers are easier than statistics and logic. So, that's just, I don't know. That's just me. But, so that class, for instance, is kicking my butt. I do not like that class as much as I thought I would. Like, when I'm working with numbers, I'm having, you know, it's great. Like, this week I think will be better, because, like, this week I am working with loans and percentages. And that is something, because I've bought a car, and because I've done all that I think I will be extraordinarily good at. And so that actually this week, when it comes to that math class, I think I should be great, and I think I will actually enjoy it. Not saying that I don't really enjoy the other parts, but I just don't enjoy them as much. So in that part, I'll be great. I'll be just fine this week, I think. I will say there's a lot of work this week. I think I have like 6 assignments this week. In just that class alone. That doesn't count my other 2. And my other 2, my one class, I have 3 assignments a week. And then my other class, it varies. So, like my environmental health. Well, no. I forget the class. The other class I'm taking this week, I think only has, 1 assignment. So that class this week will be easier. Whereas last week I had like 3 assignments in that class. And my math class, I only had... Actually, I didn't even have an assignment last week. I had my my midterm. And you guys are probably like, what? You had your midterm already? What the heck? I do school just, for fun. I do school so that I'm a week ahead. Because, like, the 1 week is just, like, the introductory stuff. It's not really, like, okay. For me, I do actually have assignments because, again, they're putting in 14 weeks of work into 7. So I usually do have assignments that first week. But, again, the first week is mostly introductions. And so I usually can get all the introduction week stuff done in 1 day. And so I'm usually a week ahead. So, for instance, like, what would normally be everybody's week 1, I'm working on week 2. So, like, for instance, this week is supposed to be only week 3, but I will be working on week 4. And so I did have, for my one class, I had my midterm last week. And to be fair, this class kind of threw me off that way, and it was actually my math class too. Because usually they do midterms on week 4, but they did it on week 3 on this class. Which it's like, it's honestly whatever. Like, it's great, get it done early, or a week sooner, fine with me. Like, let's get the work done. But it did kind of throw me off a little bit. So, like, yeah, last week was, it was a little bit less, like, assignment-wise, but I did have to take a lot of quizzes because not only was it my unit review that week, it was also my midterm. But this week I have a ton of assignments in my math class, so it's going to be 2, 3. It's going to be quite the feat this week. I'm probably talking about schools way too much and probably giving you guys a headache, so I'm sorry. But... Okay, so this is the last stall, and then we'll probably take care of the horses that are out in the paddock. Wow, paddock. I don't know. Honestly, it's one of the two. I honestly don't know how you say it. Paddock is usually how I say it. I don't know why I said paddock, but whatever. But we'll probably finish off this last stall here, and then this portion of the video will be done. And then I'll probably work on the roof off camera, most of it. And then next episode, honestly, I don't know what we're gonna work on, to be quite frank. Yeah, I honestly don't know what I'll want to work on. I mean, I'll probably want to work on the tack room in the other barn. And then I'll probably want to create a couple other horses. And then probably work on, like, creating the round pens, probably. Is probably what I'm thinking. I don't know, though. We'll see. But, yeah, we'll finish off this last stall, because we are 54 minutes into this video. I was watching the time. So, alright. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, that one has a window. Awesome. So that's probably what we'll do next episode, but okay, there we go. But all of the stalls are now done. So we have the walls, we have the stall walls, and the stalls are in. Attack room floor's in. We'll have to kind of remove some of the wall there just to make it look better, but everything's done. We got the gates in, we got everything in, so everything's looking pretty good. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good amount of work for, you know, about an hour, 55 minutes of work. I will say I do get a lot more done when I'm, you know, doing a video, because, you know, I have nothing else to do, so, I do just focus on this. Alright, let's go ahead and take care of the horses, and then we will sign off on this video. Hopefully a lot of the roof will be done by when I come back. And they have absolutely decimated the grass. Holy shenanigans. Go ahead and fill back up their water. And they have absolutely decimated the alfalfa too. Nice. Alright, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and give them kind of a random pile of alfalfa here. Because it's usually good to just kind of have a pile or two lying around. And, like, I had another pile over there, and then they came to the other side of the pasture, which is fine. Like, you know, that's why I have 2 feed stations, one in each corner. But I did kind of find it weird that they came over here for some odd reason. It'll kind of be more annoying when I have to bring them back in, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of scoot Joey out, because I think he's stuck. Yeah, he was stuck. Okay, awesome. Alright, so they're fed, watered. Everybody should be pretty happy. It does look like they are moving this morning more back the other direction. They're drinking from the pond. That's good. That was the whole point. And this water trough needs to be filled back up. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I think we're good. I think we did pretty good today. So I will go ahead and I will be working on the roof off camera for this barn. And then probably next episode we'll work on probably the tack room in this barn. And then the 2 round pens are going to go like right here. And then obviously right here. Like obviously we need to put the fences. That's actually probably what we'll work on, is probably putting the runs in next episode. Is putting the runs in and then putting in the new tack room, or the round pen, and then if we have some extra time, we'll work on putting in the tack room. But that will probably be next episode, so I will probably see you guys later. Have an awesome rest of your day if I don't, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.